Good afternoon, class. Good afternoon, class. You're welcome to yet another online teaching. Today, we are going to discuss the final aspect of the topic we've been treating so far, which is democracy. So, we're going to discuss specifically the problems of democracy. But I want to quickly run and highlight into the meaning of democracy and the various types which I have discussed before. Just a brief introduction. Now, democracy is defined as the rule of the people or a system of government where ultimate power belongs to the people and such power is given to individuals duly elected by the people for a specific period of time. That is the appropriate definition of democracy, though we have some other ones. But if you look at all the various definitions of democracy, you will see that they all still centers on the people being the specific object by which democracy can strive. That is, the power ultimately belongs to the people. They are the ones that decide the happenings and affairs of government in a specific country that practices democracy. And quickly, if you remember, I told you we have what we call direct democracy and we also have indirect democracy. Direct democracy, if you still remember, I don't know if any one of us can still remember what I mean by direct democracy. That is a type of democracy practiced in ancient Greek states. And it all talks about the people directly participating in the implementation of government policies and programs. That is applicable to a smaller state where all the people can jointly decide the happenings and the activities of their country. Now we'll move on to indirect democracy. Indirect democracy, or you call it constitutional democracy, is a type of democracy in which elected representatives are chosen by the citizen to govern on their behalf, just like we are practicing here in Nigeria. We are practicing indirect system of democracy, whereby we rely on our representative to govern the affairs of the country. So now I will move on to the proper topic of the day, which is problems of democracy. Problem of democracy. 1. It is too expensive and time consuming. That is, democracy is a system of government that involves when you want to exercise it. When you want to exercise it, it takes a lot of money and it takes and requires a lot of time. A lot of money is being wasted on during election, or wasted on the elected leaders due to duplication of offices and functions, and makes the process of decision making slow and cumbersome. Very, very slow and cumbersome. 2. Elections are often manipulated or rigged to pave way for mediocres. Who are the mediocres? Those people who are not actually qualified to rule. Those are the people we refer to as mediocres, which is made possible with the influence of money bags in politics. What do you mean by the influence of money bags in politics? Excuse me. Money bags in politics means that some people are into political businesses or affairs just because of the money for their selfish reasons. So they will go out to give out a lot of money just to win the election, either by any means, electoral malpractices, fraud, sort of illegal means. But this is not right. This is not good enough for us. This is not good enough for us, because at the end of the day, the mediocres will be the one ruling us. People are not qualified. People who are not even to be a leader, who cannot even control their homes, talk less of leading a nation. Now, 3. Political leaders interfere in the affairs of electoral bodies, which is very, very long. Now, political leaders oftentimes interfere in the affairs of electoral body, which is very wrong. That is, the politicians now always have a way of interfering, or our leaders too, interfering in the affairs and decision making of the electoral bodies. I think you still remember who the electoral bodies are. that is INEC, Independent National Electoral Body. Now we have almost another point is almost 60% of Nigeria's electorate are illiterate and so are prone to manipulation, because most of the rural areas, people will always find illiterate in most of these rural areas, so they are prone to what? Manipulations. They could easily be convinced to vote against their wish. They could easily be bribed to vote against their wish. So at the end of the day, we start having mediocres as what? Leaders, which is not good enough. That is also a major problem of what? Democracy. Another one is problem of electoral fraud due to form of manipulation of results, intimidation of voters at voting centers, etc. Yes, always have fraudulent ways by which people come into power. Also manipulation of results by party agent, party talks, etc. And also intimidating voters on election day. I am out to vote now. I know who I'm going to vote for. But when I start seeing all these people carrying guns, I will be scared. Or they even point a gun at you and ask that, madam, who do you want to vote for? I want to vote for PDP. And they ask, what do you mean by that? Come on, put your thumb on APC. What do you think I will do? My life is very important to me and I want to go back home to meet my family. I will just do what? Vote for a party which is against my wish. And my vote will count for that party. That is also a problem of what? Democracy. Now lastly, before we leave, that is lack of proper education. Lack of proper education. People are not properly and adequately educated and oriented politically. People are not politically educated. So therefore, we need to have political education, whereby we need to enlighten the masses, people mostly at the grassroots, to know why they are going in for what? Election. To know what it takes to be elected. To know what it takes to choose your own representative. For what? For progress, for development. For what? For peace, for unity in the nation. So we can have rest and say people that are leading us well. We can enjoy the dividends of what? Democracy, when we put the right people there. So these are some of the problems of what? Democracy. So I want you to watch this video, listen very, very well to the explanation, and also make sure you write your note. I think I've snapshot the note for you, but is there any point here that has not been included in the snapshot of the previous class? Please write it down and prepare your questions adequately and reasonably for the WhatsApp class coming up tomorrow by 10 a.m. Please make sure you're safe, make sure you stay at home, make sure you keep yourself safe, because very soon we'll be coming back to school, and very soon your exam is also coming on. So please ensure you read everything you have been taught online, not just my subjects alone. Be very, very careful, and read your notes and be serious. Don't play at home. Thank you. So I wish you the best today and forever. Thank you very much.